As folks are kind of regathering, I do want to, I'm going to let him get seated, but I want to congratulate Chris and Anna Richardson on the birth of Charlie Jewel, or CJ. Beautiful, perfect little girl, and mom and baby are home and doing great, and we're really excited to have a new member of the TWRA family. Please.
Thank you, Chairman Woodson, and all of the commission. Really, it's been a long time coming, and a lot of stress and worry about it. But I'm happy to report that Mama and baby are both healthy and happy and resting at home. I've been away from them since about 9:30 this morning, so I may excuse myself to get home. I'm a little nervous about that, but
You are very excused. Whatever you need to do.
I did want to among other advice from commissioners and support along the way, Ann and I came home to an absolutely beautiful flower arrangement from the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission and Chairman Woodson. So I wanted to publicly thank you all for that, and continue to give me that advice along the way. I'll need all I can get. So thank you all very much.
Yeah, actually, if it's okay for the March meeting, may we request a slideshow of CJ in her first month of life?
Absolutely.
Would that be okay?
That'd be fine.
Well, we might put that in front of the budget. Great. Congratulations, Chris. With that, we'll go ahead and get into the Retention and Recruitment Committee. Chairman Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Chairman, Michael May, are you here?
And I will do my darndest to be not long-winded. Since I have a cough, that'd probably be okay with me too. All right. Thank you, Commissioner and Commission. And the last time I was here, if you recall, probably last time I spoke in front of you, it was talking about trying to get the digital marketing in place. And so that was all approved. And what we're doing now is I'm going to speak with you about our ROI and what we've done since it came online in September. So through the end of January, so for 5 months. We'll talk about that. Okay, so talk this right here, just basically mentioning that we have a deal with Brandt and the things that we do with Go Outdoors Tennessee. So what I will talk about today will be the two types of campaigns that we have, the display ads and the search engine marketing. I'll talk real quick about the differences in that. And at the end of this, I will mention a little bit more about the Gov Delivery and what we're doing with Gov Delivery, so kind of wrap all that together. So display ads really are illustration ads that pop up when people are going to things like Amazon, right? And they take Brandt is the company that Brandt works with are able to take a look at your demographic, the customer's demographic, the visitor's demographic, and they work with Amazon and take a look at different types of ideas, like whether they're hunters, fishermen, whether they live in Tennessee, those types of things. They're able to glean that from Amazon. I don't know how they do that, but they do. That's what we pay them for. And they pop up ads that look like this when they go into Amazon. And we have the two top ones that are more of a conventional look, and then the two bottom ones are more of a vintage look. And over the 5 months, the bottom left-hand, the vintage fish has done a lot better. And search engine management, let me pop back real quick. Search engine marketing is when people are going online and searching for different types of keywords. And so those are the differences. And I want to show you real quick the differences between display ads and SEM, because you'll see that in a moment when we talk about ROI. All right, so here's the summary. A little bit of an eye chart, but we broke this down, and I'd like to thank Don King for really working hard and putting these slides for me together so we can have this for you today. So September, you see that we've had it broken down between display and SEM. So the investment for that month is roughly $26,000. You can see that. And then you can see that the ROI for display is about 2.5, and SEM ROI is about 5.4. So for an average about, excuse me, 3 1/3. And so for October, the same kind of idea. And so September, October, November, they're putting about the same amount of money in, because we know that we're coming into that season. And our biggest ROI that we've had is for SEM in November. And I'm going to jump, any questions on this slide? And I'll jump to the next one and I'll show you what we did in December and January.
Yes, I've got, excuse me, one quick question. I noticed the ROI getting better as you progress. Is that because they're refining the AdWords and coming up with,
There is that, but plus you have all the stuff that we're doing in November as the agency, right? So there's that piece as well. And so in December and in January, they drop January down, and I didn't put February because we don't have those numbers completely done, but we have an idea of what we knew, that they did drop down our investment in January and February as well, because we just don't see, traditionally they've seen in other states that they're not going to have that type of sale anyway, so we're not going to spend the money that we had gathered for that. So anyway, but we still had a good ROI for both of those months, and in February too. So overall, you can see there at the end, and I'm going to go to the next slide, which enlarges the overall summary. So basically what we have for display and SEM both, we spent about $108,000 for 5 months, and we got back $540, which is a profit of about $430. So that is really good. We're talking about an ROI of an average of 5 over 5 months that, pardon the pun, but this is what the advertising company advertised. So this is looking pretty good for us. So understanding the ad revenue. I was hoping that'd look bigger. All right. So part of the question that we're going to have is, what does this money really mean? Is this type of money that we would have made anyway, right? So when we look at these numbers right here, total customer count, if you look down at the bottom, about 9,000 of the 15,000 of the 28%, if you look down at the bottom hand, I don't have that right there, so about 28% of the money that we received of the overall, just a little north of $500,000, 28% of that is from new customers and from people who were lapsed over 12 months, even more than 12 months, even a couple of years. So 28% of that money is from people who we can glean that were not going to buy license that year whatsoever, including new customers. So it's about $150,000 that we got that we knew that we were not going to get. But what we need to do, in my opinion, is keep on going through the rest of the year to find out what we're doing, what we're tracking. At the end of the year, find out with the rest of the metrics, really what are we getting out of this? What are we gaining? It's too early in the game to figure that out right now. But as far as the money spent, here's an idea. If you do recall, the total amount of money that we're spending towards this digital marketing is $304,000. And I can give you a verbal breakdown of what that was. If you recall, the commission agreed to spend $170,000 from TWA money. Brandt was going to give us 20% match, that's $34,000. And then we're looking at $100,000 of hard card credit for marketing, which brings us up to $304,000. So for a 12-month period, you can see the breakdown of what the marketing company was looking at spending. So coming up into March, we're looking at spending the most money that we would spend in any month. Any questions on that projection? All right. Any questions on that before I go moving forward about what we're going to be doing? Oh, okay. So here's a video, a really cool thing that Don King has been working on with Brandt. Brandt brought up, okay, go ahead.
I like solitude. Tennessee has so many beautiful rivers, so many different types of things to fish for. Just being outside and experiencing nature, that's why.
That is a pre-roll, what they call a pre-roll video, that Brandt is looking at using to put in front of YouTube advertisements. Like you've seen, everybody goes to YouTube, and now YouTube is one of the highest used search engines now, not just Google, but people use YouTube for a search engine. So when they find what they want to find, and going back to the description of how I told you earlier that they're going to market our people and drill down and figure out those demographics, they'll put these pre-rollout videos on some of those videos that our potential demographic customers will be watching. And so I think it looks like they're going to be going out in June. It's going to be about $5,000 that they'll put into that from the money that we're already spending. We're not going to give them any extra money. And it should hit about 38,000 impressions of that for the first month. We'll see how that goes, or they'll see how it goes, and then they'll predict from there. Nope. Any questions? You mean how long the pre-roll lasts? Can you answer that, Don? Do you know?
Yeah, there are, the two that they've requested are a 15-second, which is what we saw today, and a 6-second version of that. So I'm imagining the 15-second one would be used early on with the 6 as sort of a reminder. Yeah.
Any more questions? So real quick, we're going to move into the Gov Delivery, and this is just a real quick splash screen about what it looks like when people are logging into the Gov Delivery here at the agency. So this first email you see on the right, I'm going to show you guys a few of the emails that have been sent out since we've had Gov Delivery. And just to remind you guys, remind the Commission that Gov Delivery is an application that we're using in lieu of what Brandt can do for email traffic and advertisement. Once again, don't forget that Brandt cannot send email to anything other than customers directly related to a transaction. Gov Delivery, in fact, is going to be used for everything other than that. Advertisement, trying to get people to come out and buy to other agency activities and so forth. So overall, for our first two emails that were sent out right here, it was to target lapsed hunters, and a lot of them were actually lapsed over multiple years. We could figure that those people were not going to come back, more than likely, or if not, maybe not for a long time. So we made $29,000 in those two emails. Our email list is growing, over 500,000, and we're getting subscribers from other surrounding states. Another example is here for the Trapper campaign for the camp that you guys had, and the number on here I have wrong. It's actually 340 that you got. So it was a really big deal. We sent that out. Don was telling me that they sent it out to only licensed hunters. So if we would have sent it out to everybody, you guys might have been swallowed up. I don't know. You were swallowed up anyway, weren't you? Well, we're glad to help for sure. This is the kind of thing that we can do. Another example is what we did with the coffee table book. Orders were so strong right here. All of them, all the 900 were sold almost immediately when the email was sent out. Another example for trout stocking, and we made $1,500 in that, and over $2,000 in direct sales for the hard cards as well. That summarizes it. Did I do good?
You did.
Was I fast enough?
Are there any questions?
I didn't cough. How many times did I cough, Mark? None?
Tony?
Who are you sending the emails to? Because I have not gotten any. Okay, you got my email address. I'm a lifetime license holder, which is something I said in the beginning. We got to figure out how to tap these people that don't pay anymore too. Make them want to give us something, whatever the case is. But I have gotten none of those, either as a commissioner or as a lifetime license holder. I don't know which one matters the most for this, but I'm just curious.
Did you not get the one for licensed hunter?
No.
We need to take a look at that because you should have.
Yeah. I understand what we've talked about, the recruitment and bringing people back. But there's some other issues I think that we can look at and increase the effectiveness of that.
Well, I got the one about the trappers, the fur trappers.
Yeah.
And I can't recall if I got another one or not, so it may be something with your email.
I've gotten,
Commissioner Sanders, you did not get the trapper one?
No.
Okay.
I've gotten probably, I don't know, 10, not 10, maybe 5 or 6, and they've all been very well done and very good. And matter of fact, I think I've sent a couple of emails maybe to Doug or to Don, telling them how well I like.
Well, Don King, we're gonna throw it out at him here. He's the guy who spearheads all the emails with the Gov Delivery. He's our point guy. So he's working with the company on that, and he's the man. So I appreciate everything Don's been doing on this, definitely.
Well, anyway, they're very well done.
Commissioner Box.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. I was just going to say, I got mine this week for my license renewal, so, and I've gotten several before.
You
so,
have?
yeah.
Okay.
They look great.
We'll take a look at that.
We just don't like you down there in Chattanooga.
I don't think it goes all the way to Chattanooga.
That may be what
I
it
think
is.
it cost us more to get it all the way out there.
We're into fishing anyway.
There's, and I don't know who will be leading this charge next month, but we've tentatively set a meeting. Mr. James Stroud's got our contact with the agent, I think it's Tony Conway, after the meeting next month to, with Michael and Brandt and the marketing group and whoever the agency people are to try to get the next step for PSAs and the relationship with whoever we can get to do some things for us. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, real quick, yeah. I think it's at 1 o'clock. And what he's done is Tony has compiled a list of entertainers, artists, agencies, managers. I think the way we're going to do this is that we'll look at that plus another list, but there should be, and I hope that we can figure this out, but everybody we'd be talking to, they have sponsors. And, you know, if there's any way to get sponsorship situations going with each individual, it would help us even more. Because I do want to go beyond the PSA, of course. So it'll be a conversation at 1 o'clock. If, Bill, it's your call.
Everybody's invited. I don't know that, who will be doing this next month, but we do have that set up, so I hope Director will be able to, and perhaps Mr. Cook will allow that to continue. So, anything else? Thank you, Matt. Michael, whatever your name is.
Real quick, if I have one more thing to add. For our digital marketing, as we move forward, we're going to be continuing to take a look at these numbers and find out where we're going to be at come September again, if we're going to put more money into it, how you want to do that, how our hard card sales are going. If they go a lot higher than what we had planned or hoped, that money can just fully fund potentially our digital marketing portion of this. So, any questions for me at all? Good. All right, thank you.
Great, excellent. Well, with that, without objection, we are adjourned till tomorrow morning.